Okay. So now, what is the whole idea behind the quantitative research? Quantitative research, or what is research in general? So in simpler terms, research, it is building on the frontiers of knowledge, increasing the frontiers of knowledge. It is a search for the new information. Okay. When we are researching, we are trying to find out the new information that has not been in existence. People have not known about that thing. I want you to understand the idea behind research. People have not known about that thing. People don't know about that thing, you know. People have just known about the few things that have been recorded in the books. And people have known few things that have been recorded in the articles, in the literature, in songs, and in some presentations. Those are the only few things that people know. But you know, there is more to life. There are more discoveries. Every day people discover new things. They get to know that, oh, even this works like this. Oh, even that works like that. You get?
Yes.
So
Yes.
ideally, the idea behind research work that it should help you to participate or to join that team which is involved in building, okay, the frontiers of knowledge, which is there to increase the amount of knowledge that we already have, okay? So usually the human beings have known the few things. So let's speak, for example, in economics. Let me just give you an example of economics. Let's say the only thing that people have known in economics, these are the things that they've known from here up to somewhere here, right? They end here. This is so far where they have ended to learn. But obviously, you can realize that with passage of time, there are new discoveries that get to be there. So when you are researching, as a researcher, you are here to find out the new information that is here in the black area that I'm sharing. There is still some more information that we don't know. And so as a researcher, you are there to find out the new things that have not been known to people. And when you discover those new truths, you bring them here to be part of the knowledge that is known by people. That is where you publish, you write down those things in the books, in the literature. That is what you do. Are you able to follow?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, the introduction is a little bit different, but you should follow it. It will help you. So ideally, what is happening is that people have, we know whatever little that we know. So, and as you write down the academic literature, you have seen that most of the time you just say, you quote, even definitions. You say, according to Chite, you know, you are citing those authors, right? The few authors, because those people have managed to build the theories, okay? They have managed to build the theories, and after building those theories, we now base our judgment based on the theory. You know, in academic, you cannot just say things from your heads without authority, okay? There should be the time where you are recognizing the authority, because even in any academic writing, if you can just write from your head, that would be plagiarism, okay?
Yes.
And you know that plagiarism is a criminal offense. So you don't say things from your head. You have to quote some people. Now, those people that you are quoting, okay, those people were the first people to discover that that variable or those two variables in question interact in that manner. You understand? So those people that you are quoting, they're the ones that built those theories. So in research, what you're trying to do, there are two types of research. There is theory building, where you build a theory yourself. You start out, you try out the experiments, then after discovering all out of, you know, a lot of trials with time, then you discover that you establish that, okay, this thing works like this. I've tried it out. then you write down a theory, and people come to prove, okay? They have to come and test your theory, like whether what you are saying is really true. They have to repeat doing the same thing, and they should find the similar results, okay? When people have found the similar results, they will say, yes, what this person said is true, okay? Then after time, they will now agree with you, and then your theory will be approved, and it will become theory. It will be added to be part of the theories that we have. So people will start now quoting, according to Chite, you understand? They will start citing, because your theory has stood the test. Different people have tested it, okay? We will test your theory. Okay. We're going to test your theory from here within the country. We'll test the theory at regional level within the continent. There are different researchers who try out your discovery, and try different samples. We see that whether this what you have discovered just works maybe for Zambians. Does it also work for other people? Then you also test it at world level. Okay. When you do all those tests, then we'll say that this actually what this person discovered is true. These variables interact like that. So then that will become what? A theory. I'm not yet very technical in my speech. I'm still speaking like, I'm not yet that technical. So that is what happens. That is called the theory building. So in research, there is a part where you're building theories so that people can start basing their propositions based on the theories that you have laid down. Okay. That is called theory building. It's part of research. Then there is the other research that is called the hypothesis testing theory, where you are just testing. It's part of research where you are just testing the theories, okay? The existing theories. Okay, now we already have the existing theories. Then we are now testing those theories, okay? We are testing those theories that already exist, see whether they hold water in our context, in our area. That is also part of the of research. So most of the times at undergrad, before you cross to the master's level, most of the research that you do is just this this research where you test the theories that already exist. That's the common research that you do. But as you move upward, you start building your own theories. And after building their own theories, then people start now writing on theories and test them, and you move on just like that. That's the idea behind research. So from what we know right now, there is still what we don't know, okay? There is what has been known all over the years. Then now we need a new discovery. We need to discover the new things. Is that clear?
Yes, very clear.
Let me give you now one of the examples. Don't worry much about my examples. I'm an economist by training.
Okay.
So that's why that's why maybe I would give most of the example. They may not sound very much biased, but you'll be able to pick it.
Okay.
Right. From the time economics was developed around 1776, somewhere there, we had the first theories that we had. And the first theories that we had were like the economy is able to control itself without the intervention of the government. Okay. Even without the government participating, the economy would bring itself to the equilibrium. That is to say, the economy would control itself. When there is inflation, when there are the prices are increasing, the prices will bring themselves down after some time without any intervention. You get?
Yes.
When the exchange rates increase again against your local currency, they will bring themselves down with passage of time. So you should just be there to watch. You should not do anything. That was the first theory. And that is according to what we call the classical economists. Don't worry. I'm giving context to the course so that you understand. The classical economists, they said there is no, there is there is no need of the government. Then look at what happened. And people believed that from somewhere around there up to 1936. In 1936, John Maynard Keynes, okay? John Maynard Keynes, he did another proposition. He did another research after spending time reading and researching and looking at the interaction of the variables. What he observed that the government is an important component in the operation of the economy. We need the government. Then he built this theory and showed how important the government is. And then from that time, from 1936, we had another group of the economists, or another theory, which is called now the Keynes theory, or that led to the development of the Keynesian economists, those that believe that the government is very important. And so from 1936, we just had now, the government is very important. The government is very important. Okay, so things changed. I'm showing you that things changed with new discovery.
Yes.
And the belief changed now. Then after some time, there was a belief that the countries don't need to trade with other nations. Countries don't need to trade with other countries. But recently, people realize that it's very, very important for countries to to trade with other nations. This is where we have people like when Heckscher Olin, among others, I'm quoting him. In one of the theories that he postulated, he said, countries need to trade with other nations. And when that theory was brought forward, and he put it forward, people believed it. And our belief system changed. Our knowledge changed. That, actually, it's important that nations should trade with other nations. Are you following?
Yes.
There was a change again. And newly, somewhere around 2012, not 2014, there is another group of the economists that came, the monetarists. We call them the monetarists. These guys, they say you can control the entire economy just controlling the money variable. Just controlling the money. In short, the central bank can control the entire economy by adjusting the variables. Just the supply of money, controlling the interest rate. Obviously, we heard that the policy rate was increased, isn't it? You heard something that message from the central bank that they increased the policy rate, right? From somewhere 9 to 10, there was that in hand. So the monetarists believe that the government can be adjusting money, just money variable, to control, all the problems, all the variables, economic variables. That was a new belief, right? And we had a new one in 2021. I'm showing you the development from 1776. So to sum it up, okay, to sum it up, I am saying that there has been some things that we don't know. And there's some things that we have known for a long time, then we have to relearn them with much discovery. So research, the whole idea behind research is now to test, to find out what is not there. First of all, we need to start from what is there. Okay, we need to start from what is there. After knowing what is there, then we'll have to seek now what is not there. Where is the problem? There is a part of the problems that don't have answers. Okay, if it was in the medical field, at some point people had the answers about these other diseases. But when COVID came, there was need for people to go down to research, isn't it? To find out, look for answers. So the idea behind research is that we are solving problems. We are looking for answers to some problems. So when we bring those answers, then we tell the public that, this is solved like this. This goes like this. We proved it. You get the point? Research is interesting, yeah?
Yeah, it is.
Yes. That's the whole idea behind research. So I've given you the idea behind research. So now, if you see the course, when you learn this course, ultimately the main thing that you should manage to do is to come up with a research proposal. Research proposal, and that is the end of it, or like that's a research proposal. And if possible, I don't know if it's within your syllabus, but you should be able to do a research, to conduct a research yourself.
A research proposal, you should do it, I think, next semester.
Yes, next semester is when? When is next semester? Sorry?
January to June next year.
January to June. Yeah, there will be research. Yeah. So there will be the part of, for you to survive during that time, you need to understand this now. Because when you propose, when you open in June, you'll be writing on your proposal. Like the same things they are going to propose that this is how I'm going to research. This is the problem that I will be answering. That problem, no one has ever answered it before in the world. That is how it should be. Research should be new. There's that problem. The problem has been in existence, but no one has provided answers. You're going to be the first one to provide answers to that. And you're going to show us, okay, what the problem is, why do you think it is a relevant problem to look for answers for? Like, why do you think we need to answer that problem? Why do you think we need to look for answers? Okay, you have to write down first. And after writing, how are you going to look for answers now? Then there comes the issue of data. You show us, okay, you use such data. What variables are you going to use? You understand? So those things that I'm talking about, they are components of what? They are components of a research proposal. You ask yourself, okay, where am I going to find the data? Because for you to come up with the information, your conclusion will be called the information. But before you come up with the information, where are you going to find the data? Okay, which are the bits that form the information? We call them data. Data is not same as information. Data is just the raw material for information. So where are you going to find data? Where exactly? What type of data are you going to use? Okay. Is it the panel data? Is it cross-sectional data? What data is it that you're going to use? You're going to communicate that in your writing. In the writing, that is a research proposal I'm showing you an overview of it. After you have told us the data that you're going to use, then he will ask you now, okay, that is the data, and you even tell us the sources where you will find it. Okay. Then what variables are you going to extract from that data? You tell us the variables. You're following?
Yes.
Then when you tell us the variables that you're going to use, it will be very interesting. When you tell us the variables that you're going to be using when you're testing, I'll tell, when I start teaching, I'm not teaching yet. I'm just giving the overview of the course. When we start learning now, we'll tell you what the variable is. Obviously, you may not be aware of what it is, but get it that.
I'm asking myself, what are variables?
Yeah, like I'll tell you when we start teaching that what a variable is, you understand. Okay. Yes, we have a variable in question. And so you give us the variables that you have chosen. And for the variables that you have chosen, we'll ask you, who told you to choose those variables? Who told you that those variables impact that? Let me just give you a short, brief, maybe just a simple model. Let's look at what determines the salaries of people. What do you think influences salary? That's a question. That's a research question. If you look at it, what determines people, the salaries that people get paid? Someone will say age. Someone say level of education. Okay.
Yes.
Someone will say what? Work experience.
Work experience. Can you also include gender?
Gender. Yeah, someone will also say gender. Right. Okay, just these 4 variables. Then there is the earnings, which is the salary thing that we are looking at. Earnings. Okay. Earnings. Earnings, this is the variable that we are looking at. The variable, we are looking at the things that influence the earnings, right? So earnings is a variable. Okay. Earnings is a variable that is influenced by the following variables. Okay. This variable, and that other variable, and that other variable. It's only that these variables that influence this variable are called independent variables. Okay. We call these independent variables, but this variable, which is being influenced, it is called a what? A dependent variable. So you will talk about these things when you start learning in detail. Don't worry about it if you can't remember. So we have the variables, right? The question of the day is that who told you now that age influence? Okay, how did you come up with the variables? That's a question. Those are questions that you should be asking yourself as you are going to be coming up with your research proposal. Like, how did you choose this variable? Were you just dreaming and waking up? Oh, let me choose that variable. That variable. Who told you? You get the question? So you should have now support from literature, from the books, that indeed age. You should read somewhere. There should be somewhere. There should be a certain theory that says age influences what? Earnings. Have you seen that? If there is a theory, there is a theory somewhere, then that will form part of what your literature review. Okay, there is a part where there is a literature review in the research. When you are doing literature review, this is the time when you are reading many books just to look for theories that support these variables that you're going to add model. Okay. So you're asking yourself, like, who told you? Okay, then you say, okay, I read in a certain book, according to Chite, there is this theory. It says age influences. Oh, there is that theory, and you're going to write it in your research proposal. You write that this theory was expounded by Chite in the year so, in the book so. You get the point?
Yes.
Then you go to the next variable, education. You'll be like, am I dreaming that education influences the salaries or earnings? No. Who told me? Then you go back to what? To theories now, to books. Find out and find that theory which supports that. If there is no theory supporting that variable, then that variable does not qualify to be part of your model. You understand? There should be a theory. So the variables, you don't just choose them from your head. No. When you think about the variable, yes, it can make, sometimes some variables can make sense in your head, but the problem is that you don't find the theories that support them. If there is no theory, you drop the variable. It will not go through. All right. That's the whole idea behind the literature review. I'm giving you a research proposal now. I'm coming closer to the end of the presentation. Okay. And then afterward, you go to the next variable as well, work experience. Who told me that work experience influences what earnings? Am I just thinking of, but it makes sense. Even if it makes sense, if you fail to find the theory, that theory you should know the person who expounded it and the year and the date in the book, because you have to cite, so that us who are coming to read, you should go and check as well, confirm whether what you are saying is true or you are lying. So we need that. And so you find that you become lying is limited here, because most of the theories that you're going to say, like for example, if you're going to mention most of the theories in business school, like in the business world, most of the theories we know them. We have been reading those books again and again. So you can't lie about theories. When you just cite, for example, at Cochrane in marketing, we know that okay. Whenever you just cite any person, it's just cite Adam Smith. Oh, I'm citing Damoda Gujarat. I'm citing Ahuja. Whatever person you cite, at least we'll be able to reflect in our mind that, okay, we remember reading such a book. Right, and such a person. So that's what you do to all the variables. Now, for you to have that support, you do what is known as what? The literature review. That is, to find this information, it is at the stage of literature review of your research proposal. This is where you find these theories. You get the point? The next stage of your proposal is the empirical literature review. This is theoretical literature review, theoretical where you're reviewing theories. Then there is what you call empirical literature review. Very interesting. How different are they? When you reach at empirical literature review, here you are looking at, because the word empirical comes from the word evidence, it means evidence. The question that you are answering here is that, okay, you have told us the theories here, at this stage under theoretical literature review, right? You told us those theories, about maybe 3 theories. Then the question of the day now, empirically, we want evidence. Where were those theories or such studies tested? For example, you say, let's say you have read according to whatever, maybe James, according to James 2021, he said that age influences earnings, right? That is in the theoretical literature review. Now, when we go to the empirical literature review, you're going to tell us where that test was done.
Okay.
You get the point? Where was it tested that age, age influence? Where? You have to tell us the place. Okay, this study was conducted in Zambia at Unza by Tite. You mentioned now the person who was testing that, proving whether it's true. That's the empirical literature review. You say, okay, it was tested by this one. Then again, the test was also carried out in South Africa by this person. It was found out the results were the same. Again, they did it in Russia by someone, this person, don't say, just say someone. Mention the name. By Chite, after it was done by Chite, the results were just what? The same. Under empirical literature review, what you're trying to show us is that this research, like this variable is valid. You're supporting your variable. Like people have tried to assess the impact of this variable and they have done the test severally. And it has come out exactly. So, it is true. You understand? You'll be telling us how the test was conducted, what variables they were using, what models they were using. That is what you're going to be doing under empirical review. Once the variable passes here, then you're okay. Now let me show you. Your variable can pass here. There is a theory, but it fails here.
On the
There's
evidence
nowhere where it was tested.
No.
If there is nowhere where that variable was tested and and it was not repeated, or maybe they tested it, the results were different, then it does not go through in your model. So it's much work that you do. It's not one day's work. You have to continue. It's much work. Yeah. So when you do all those empirical literature, once your variables now go through, then you specify the model. So after specifying the model, then you test the model. You analyze the data. Remember, we are collecting the data, right? You are collecting the data because after these variables have gone through, next thing that you do is data collection. You collect the data about these variables.
Okay.
Collect the data. After you've collected the data now, the next thing that you do now is called the data analysis.
Okay.
You have to analyze the data. That's the next stage in your research. So in your proposal, you're going to tell us where the data is going to come from and how you're going to analyze, what models you use to analyze. Then you end here. Because you can't tell us how the outcome will be. No. So in the proposal, you just end somewhere here. Okay. Somewhere here after telling us how you're going to control some problems, okay, how you're going to show or control some assumptions, then you end here. Then now when you come next time to research, to do research, for example, in the next semester, right? You pick it up from here. The data has already been collected. You start from data analysis. You start now analyzing the data. You don't analyze the data using your hands. You need a computer.
Oh, okay.
And there are some statistical software, such as obviously you have heard of this. Stata. Stata is common for, you can do Stata for cross-sectional data and for some panel data. There is eViews for time series data. You can use eViews. Those are some of the softwares that you can use. You can still use ARA. You can use SPSS, is common as well. Okay. SPSS stands for Statistical Package for Social Sciences. Many people don't know that. They just know SPSS, just like that. Yeah. These are some of them that you can actually use. So when you use any of these to analyze data, your data will be analyzed. Then you draw your outcome. Whenever your findings come, when you are done analyzing the data, you have found your outcomes, then you report in what is known as now a research report.
Okay.
Your proposal is like you're proposing what you are going to be doing, right? Then in the report, you're going to report what you did now, how you did it.
Oh,
So
okay.
like, oh, we were testing this, this is what came out, and these are our findings. And so those outputs that you get from Stata, from EViews, from SPS, or from R, you're going to summarize them and present them in your research report, and then submit for marking.
Okay.
Then you are done. At some other levels of institutions, when you are done submitting, the panel of professors who sit before you, you have to go and defend your your research.
Yeah.
They start asking you a question if you are the one who did it, and you should be able to answer. You know, I've had situations where people in research is very good and it makes sense, but they can't answer, they can't defend. And for higher grades like masters going upward, even in other schools like bachelors, if you fail to defend your research, they will say, no, you don't know what you research. You go back. And because how can you do the research and fail to explain what you were doing? So they will ask you some questions to show whether you really understand what we were doing.
Yes,
that is called defending your research. I'm sure you have heard of that.
Yes.
So that's the idea behind what? Behind research. Any question?
No. So far, so good. It's an interesting course.